for your guy, does the math get a little bit prohibitive now?
No, it's not prohibitive. I mean, last week and this week are Northeast states, and you know, this was always going to be a struggling part of the calendar for us. The first half of April was good. May will be good. And then we get to June, and it's going to be a dash to the finish line.
But Ken, did you expect this type of magnitude win? It's one thing in New York to win by the degree he did. To your point, it's his home state. But here, he really piled it up.
Well, but again, you know, it's the same kind of a state, I think, by and large, with Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, Maryland. I don't think you're far off the mark there. So, I mean, none of these states will any Republican win in November. We may win Pennsylvania, but I will tell you, if Donald Trump is the nominee, Senator Pat Toomey is likely to be former Senator Pat Toomey, regardless
yeah, but I don't know. He's running even in a lot of national polls, and you're quite right to point that out. But I would imagine now, Ken, and you're closer to the fire than I am, that he has got to, that is, your candidate, Ted Cruz, win Indiana. He's got to win it, right?
Well, I think the only state we absolutely had to win was Texas. And certainly we try to compete across the field and do better in some places than others, just like every other candidate.
Getting blown out here, blown out in New York, and you had pileups in the middle of the country with victories to which you're to be credited. But right now you're falling seriously behind. You're in a blowout situation.
Yeah, and let's be clear, we're winning in some of the states are swing states that are actually up for grabs, like Wisconsin, where Ted was reportedly behind going in when people started focusing on Wisconsin, like they're focusing on Indiana
now.
now.
Do you think it was a mistake to hook up with? Do you think it was a mistake to hook up with Kasich on this? You know, combine our resources and strategies?
No, you know, there's no combined resources. There's you go here and I'll go there, and it's really very little more than that. So
well, right now, John Kasich seems to be getting the better.
Look, average voters,
Kasich is getting the better.
Look, average voters don't care. What they care about is, do you have a plan to give me better opportunities? Are you finally going to secure this country, unlike the current president? Are you going to actually increase freedom? Are you going to get government out of our lives? And only Ted Cruz does that. Donald Trump doesn't do that.
I know where you're biased, and you're perfectly
that.
fine with it, but apparently average voters, at least within the Republican Party, do not think he can or will. They seem to be betting on Donald Trump to do that. How do you dissuade them of that notion that your guy just might be finished?
Well, the people who believe that the most are in the media, so congratulations. And even
Did you just
with,
love me with the media? All right, go ahead.
Yes, I did. Neil. Hey, you're on Fox. You guys need to be more balanced and fair.
Right. But I knew there was something going on.
But look, where Ted has the opportunity to be a retail politician, by which I mean he talks to voters one at a time in smaller groups and can share his conservative vision, which hasn't changed for the duration of the race. He does very well. That's why we do well in these delegate competitions.
My neighbor Pam has always done very well with small groups also, but she's also not going to get the Republican nomination for president. Hi, Kenneth Kennedy. Our names are very similar.
Hi, Kennedy. I recognize your voice. You sort of stand out in this group.
It's the burgundy I'm wearing. Thank you. If for some reason Senator Cruz loses my birth state of Indiana next week, is the campaign finished?
No, but obviously we're going to fight to win every vote we can in Indiana, and you'll notice we're also campaigning in other states like Nebraska, West Virginia, and others on the calendar in May as well, Washington and so forth. So it isn't just one at a time. We have a heavy presence in Indiana. We have a focus.
Ken, either way, you're going to support the nominee even if it's Donald Trump, right?
Yeah, I am, but I don't have a whole lot of hope that will prevail or that many Republicans will survive 2016 if Donald Trump is the nominee.
Ken,
what's that, Neil?
Lou Dobbs is here.
Good to talk with you, Ken. And I know it's a tough night for you. You're looking forward to Indiana, but I've got to ask this because these numbers are becoming weighty, to say the least. At what point do you think, given the talent of Senator Cruz and his importance to the party, he is a very young candidate, is it time for the senator to think about the party and bringing people together? Are you committed to not making that decision in favor of the party before the convention, or is there some point at which you would think about it seriously?
Well, look, Lou, for the last 2 months, and you can go back to pretty much the end of February on to today, you've seen Senator Cruz talking about unifying the party, talking about bringing coalitions within the GOP together, and he's been doing that, which is why he's continued to do so well among the grassroots. So when we have these second-round competitions for delegates, for instance, the Rubio people, the Bush people, Fiorina people, Perry people are supporting Senator Cruz. So he's actually doing that unification now.
All right, Ken. Thank you very much.
We obviously have to catch up and be ready for Cleveland.
And we'll see. We'll see. Ken, I'm sorry. Well, not sorry. I already did it, didn't I?